Hey friends, welcome back for another chapter of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We will be reading chapter number 7 today and learning all about Charlie's birthday and if Charlie finds the golden ticket in his birthday candy bar. Yesterday we read that 2 kids have found golden tickets. The first one was Augustus Gloop, who was a big fat boy who ate candy bars all day long every day and was able to find one. And then the second winner was a girl named Veruca Salt, whose father bought hundreds of thousands of candy bars and made all the workers in his factory take off the wrappers until the ticket was found. Chapter 7 is called Charlie's Birthday. Happy birthday! Cried the 4 old grandparents as Charlie came into their room early the next morning. Charlie smiled nervously and sat down at the edge of the bed. He was holding his present, his only present, very carefully in his 2 hands. Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight, it said on the wrapper. The 4 old people, 2 at either end of the bed, propped themselves up on their pillows and stared with anxious eyes at the candy bar in Charlie's hands. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket came in and stood at the foot of the bed watching Charlie. The room became silent. Everybody was waiting now for Charlie to start opening his present. Charlie looked down at the candy bar. He ran his fingers slowly back and forth along the length of it, stroking it lovingly, and the shiny paper wrapper made little sharp crackling noises in the quiet room. Then Mrs. Bucket said gently, "You mustn't be too disappointed, my darling, if you don't find what you're looking for underneath the wrapper. You really can't expect to be as lucky as all that." "She's quite right," Mr. Bucket said. Charlie didn't say anything. "After all," Grandma Josephine said, "in the whole wide world, there's only 3 tickets left to be found." "The thing to remember," Grandma Georgina said, "is that whatever happens, you'll still have the bar of candy." "Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight," cried Grandpa George. "It's the best of them all. You'll just love it." "Yes," Charlie whispered. "I know." "Just forget about all those golden tickets and enjoy the candy," Grandpa Joe said. "Why don't you just do that?" They all knew it was ridiculous to expect that this one poor little candy bar to have the magic ticket inside it. If they were trying, and they were trying as gently and as kindly as they could to prepare Charlie for the disappointment. But there was one other thing that the grown-ups also knew, and it was this, that however small the chance might be of striking lucky, the chance was still there. The chance had to be there. This particular candy bar had just as much chance as any other of having a golden ticket. And that was why all the grandparents and the parents in the room were actually just as tense and as excited as Charlie was, although they were pretending to be very calm. "You better go and open it up, or you'll be late for school," Grandpa Joe said. "You might as well get over with it," Grandpa George said. "Open it, my dear," Grandma Georgina said. "Please open it. You're making me jumpy." Very slowly, Charlie's fingers began to tear open one small corner of wrapping paper. The old people in the bed all leaned forward, craning their saggy necks. Then, suddenly, as though he couldn't bear the suspense any longer, Charlie tore the wrapper right down the middle, and onto his lap there fell a light brown, creamy colored chocolate candy bar. There was no sign of a golden ticket anywhere. A picture of Charlie opening his candy bar. "Well, that's said Grandpa Joe brightly. It's just what we expected. Charlie looked up. 4 kind old faces were watching him intently from the bed. He smiled at them, a small, sad smile. And then he shrugged his shoulders, and he picked up the candy bar and held it out for his mother and said, Here, Mother, have a bit. We'll share it. I want everybody to taste it. Certainly not, his mother said. All the others cried, No, no, we wouldn't dream of it. It's all yours. Please, begged Charlie, turning around and offering it to Grandpa Joe. But neither he nor anyone else would even take a tiny bite. It's time to go to school, my darling, Mrs. Bucket said, putting her arm around Charlie's skinny shoulders. Come on, or you'll be late. That's the end of the chapter. How many of you thought that Charlie was going to find the golden ticket in his candy bar, in his birthday candy bar? I kind of did the first time I read it, but it didn't happen. I wonder if he'll have another chance later. Thanks for listening today. When we read again tomorrow, we'll be reading chapter 8. 2 more golden tickets found. Maybe Charlie will have one of those. See you later.